Since this is the right place, it must have something to do with the Jade Chamber. Yes, this must be the way.
Wish me luck. Let's dance!
Huh? It only takes us up to here. Aw, if that wind current was stronger, we'd be able to reach the top in one go. Huh? Why? Or... Oh, Paimon gets it! If it was a secret, Ganyu... Alright, let's follow your plan. Oh, hang on a moment. Look down there. Looks like we've gotten close to the Guizhong Ballista. Why don't we shoot you up to the Jade Chamber using the ballista? Oh, right. This method does... Oh, that's right. Now that you mention it, we could use the Guizhong Ballista to see if there's another way up nearby.
Halt! Who trespasses on these hallowed grounds?
Exactly. What are you talking about? We're invited guests. What makes you think you can treat us like this? No. Wait. She pretended to invite us to the Jade Chamber, but set up a millilith ambush here to arrest us. Now Paimon's mad.
What? We're just on guard duty. What do you mean, shameless?
What nonsense! Seize these suspicious intruders!
Well, here they...
Stop! What's all this about?
Lady Coaching, these two strange people suddenly appeared. They seem to—
Who are you calling strange?
You want to go to the Jade...
We're invited guests, here to look for the Liuchi
Well, as it happens, I am one.
Oh,
I'm Kuching, the Yuheng of the Qixing. I know of you, traveler. You're Ningguang's guests, yes? Didn't
wow. Paimon didn't think we'd meet some super rich big shot out here in the middle.
The Guizhong Ballista in Tianheng Pass has long been in disrepair, and yet it was fixed in a single night. I came here. These Millilith are just here to guard the scene, not to arrest it.
So this was all a misunderstanding?
Anyway, for a mortal to be able to repair an Adepti mechanism,
That was... Eh? Oh, right. So, Lady Yuheng...
just call me Kuching. I'd say that Ningguang's purpose is to request that the savior of Mondstadt take a more neutral stance. Or at least, to not wholly side with the Adepti.
We're not taking sides. We spoke with the Adepti. They want to protect Liyue as well.
When you say protect, you're referring to their sanctimonious arrogance, aren't you?
Huh?
You are mortals, and thus under their protection. There was no way they would have regarded you as someone with the ability to assassinate a god. Naturally, they would also regard Ningguang's locking down the area, questioning the citizenry, and pursuit of the assassin to be pointless work. Perhaps they even wonder if there might be a cover-up. I'll say it like it is. They're
Well, you've got a point there. Still, this is the first time Paimon's seen a person from Liyue who doesn't respect the
Should I respect the shallow sense of time and condescension to mortals that has caused them to delay in moving against us, Qixing? Forget it. I shouldn't speak of them this way. This skepticism is mine alone, and Ningguang does not share it. Either way, I will admit that the actions of the Adepti this time were quite Rex Lapis's death is indeed an extraordinary circumstance. But to think that they would call for a council of Adepti, how surprisingly civilized of them. Well, for Ningguang, she would talk anything and everything out if she could. The time of the Adepti has long passed.
Another soup.
I'll stop here. Honestly, I hadn't intended to say. You should both be off to the Jade Chamber. The cream of Liyue's mercantile crop all—
Favor? But, wait, that's right. Greeting gifts are a staple of Liyue's
All right. You can decide on your greeting gift yourselves. You didn't actually have to come to Mount Tianheng. Well then, may we meet again, traveler.
Well, that Yuheng may not respect the gods, but Paimon thinks she's a pretty cool person. So, what should we give to Ningguang when we... Oh, right! Paimon dreamed of an amazing snack lab. Paimon has a feeling that it would be perfect for a soup. Why don't we go with that for a gift? Nope! But Paimon's sure that we just need... Let's go gather ingredients! Huh? Is it just Paimon? Or is there a sweet fragrance in... Huh? Did you hear that? It seemed like it came from those ruins over there. Uh-oh. It looks like the treasure hoarders have locked someone in... I was
I understand. Don't worry. I will compensate you. Don't say that. I'm Mung Dan. I never expected that though. Is there anything that you lack?
Wait a moment.
Oh?
Do you have a box that can store...
Of course we do. Now just give me a moment and I'll...
Great! Paimon... Hey there! A guy called Mung Dan told us that we could get a nice...
Uncle Mung already told me about it. Many of the best goods in our store were found by... Here, this container is itself an antique.
Yep. Hang on a moment. Could we borrow one other thing?
Sure, please help yourselves.
Traveler, this clay pot looks really awesome. If we use an antique as our mixing bowl, It's done! The one and only sugar-frosted slime!
Oh yes, you might want to use these 2 freshly picked flowers as decorations too.
Woohoo! It looks beautiful! Great! Now that we've put all that we've got into this box,
The key here is consumer psych.
LOL!
according to Kuching, this is what we should say. Excuse me, do you sell the moon
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of no...
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber. Yes, speaking of which,
Yep.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests, but for the Yuheng. What's going on here?
I've been waiting for you, returnee from Joyun Karst.
It's Ningguang. Since this is our first meeting, we've...
Oh, for me. You have my thanks. This palace floats in the skies, higher than the peak of any mountain. From this vantage point, one may survey all of Liyue. I have been gathering the funds necessary to build it. At first, it was but the size of one room. Now, it is large enough to blot out the moon in the skies above Liyue. One day, I believe it will overshadow all 7 nations. Not many from outside Liyue earn the right to ascend to the Jade Chamber. But as such, I have been putting eyes and ears out ever since you reached...
What?
And I finally got wind of your movements when you were on the way to Wangshu Inn.
Wait, was Vergoldet one of your people?
Just Vergoldet? No, everyone at Wangshu Inn is one of ours. At the Guizhang Ballista.
You weren't peeking on us from the skies the whole time.
I fear that peeking would have been a little difficult. Our eyes and ears are more than sufficient. You two are very interesting people, after. Well, I wouldn't expect you to trust us, considering that you have had far more interactions with the Adepti. I believe that you've heard of the Archon War. Many gods used to walk this earth, and many long wars were fought between them that did not abate until 2,000 years ago. In the end, only 7 victors remained standing in Tevat. You can see Goyun Stone Forest from here, I trust. Beneath the spears lie those cast down by Rex Lapis in those days. Not only is it true that gods may die, but so too has the membership of the 7 changed over the last 2 millennia. Another Lord of Geo will arise sooner or later. Yet, how are we to forget Rex Lapis? Even in a new era, the Liyue Qixing remain Rex Lapis's former subjects. That day at Yujing Terrace, it was also very sudden. Even I was caught completely off guard. But our enemy has long lain hidden within the harbor. If we do not act against them now, they will. Hiding the Exuvia was a necessary maneuver to take the.
Who's this enemy you're talking about?
What do you think, traveler?
Huh? What are you two talking?
Well answered.
Huh?
The scenery out here is fine indeed, but the wind is a little strong. Our preparations to receive guests within are complete.
Wowee! What a huge hall! Paimon's never seen such a fancy place before.
Be at ease, you two. Make your.
Can we really?
I have invited you two here as friends. And when friends come over to play.
Ooh! Isn't this that legendary wall?
Why, you've kept your ear to the ground.
That's because even the storytellers are talking about it. Everyone's after a piece of paper from that wall.
That's because that wall records Leo's secrets. But the secrets of the mercantile world are, if possible, I'd like to have your trust. But if you were to choose the more trustworthy person between myself and Kuching... You'd pick Kuching? I originally thought her a bit too hard-headed. But after she said those words, the time of the Adepti has long passed. Well, I must say that quite a few of my doubts have been dispelled. I won't deny that Rex Lapis's passing seems advantageous to us. Indeed, it seems that you understood what I meant. I called for the gag order and for the Exuvia to be hidden to temporarily stabilize the situation, and also to prevent something similar to the incident in Monst. With Rex Lapis's death, the Fatui have busied themselves with many clandestine actions beyond. Allowing the rite of parting to take place was also meant to buy some time for us to take.
It's exactly as Zhongli said. The Qixing only provided the venue for the rite so they could use us for their own ends. Wait, that's right. Speaking of ends...
Of course.
Paimon's heard that anyone who sends a greeting gift gets a little something in return. So, does that include
It's all right. Well, we have made quite a bit of trouble for you recently.
Yay! Paimon was just waiting for you. One of the sheets on that wall. Don't look at Paimon like that. One of these sheets of paper will sell for crazy prices, even if it's only as large as Paimon's. Just imagine. Let's grab one, the biggest one. easy search. The biggest sheet is right up there in the most la 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 la. Huh? There's a place marked with a circle on here. Oh, could it be true? Sigil of permission, something, something, Fatui, Aw, that doesn't sound like treasure. This piece of paper shows that a cheesing spot. Oh, Ningguang did say that the Fatui have been up to all kinds of mischief in the shadows of Li. But research on the Sigil of Permission? Speaking of which, there's also some connection between you and the Sigil of Permission. Seems. Oh, you really think? Well, should we not go then? Oh, so you're saying that it's precise. That's way out of Paimon's league. Anyway, we'll see if you're onto something. Before we look for Zhongli at Dihua Marsh, let's...
Sorry. Anything business related is confidential. This gives good market insight.
Here. And some stacks of Paimon's seen this pattern before. Oh, Paimon knows! It looks just like the Sigil of Permission the child gave you. But how did a relic of the Adept die? Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Geo talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission, being able to channel divine power, and the plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure. Alright, that's enough sticking around here. We got the last stop on our rite of parting preparations tour. Let's go! Paimon
Right on time. I myself only arrived Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon, yeah, her take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. She thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than...
Oh. So you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what...
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important?
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least. No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting in Diwa Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? But why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in Eugene Terrace... Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to flowers. Maybe...
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance, but I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. That's correct.
So how good is your singing? Really? Why doesn't Paimon believe you?
We'll only know once she starts singing.
It's time to sing, whenever you're ready.
Da 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 da.
What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang a song for Mondstadt that they don't understand here in Liyue?
Time for retribution!
Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those petals be useful for the rite of parting?
Unfortunately,
That's so lame.
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey, it's... What's-her-face?
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name. Ah, that reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us...
Didn't I tell you the way?
Nope, we found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to...
Something seems... She's acting different from the first time we...
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now, I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see...
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotion. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, yes. Now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has the other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, of the current 7 Archons, this means that Liyue had been under...
So what do you think of this?
Huh? This... As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus...
Huh? Did you just say, as an Adeptus?
Yes, I am a mix of human and Qilin. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. I've continued those duties to this very day. Well, let's save that conversation for another. I also know where wild glaze...
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before you picked...
Indeed, I did. I know that...
Wow, so you really know your stuff, too.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If you would excuse me.
And that just about does it. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks, in more ways than one.
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him start...
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is all, so you must be careful to take the time to...
Wow. See? Zhongli sounds like he's already seen it all. Alright, I think it's about time we head back to Liyue Harbor now. Oh, protect us!
Ah, you're the consultant. The Millilith are watching our every move now.
Desperate time?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise?
Most likely. I've heard, however, both sides require...
It seems inevitable.
The Adepti do not acknowledge that.
Surely the Liyue Qixing...
Their boneheadedness...
And what now?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on...
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the
Things are taking a turn for the worst. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at... Consider your next course of action carefully.
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite... So what does Zhongli mean by Looking for the feet? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, it's He must be waiting for the moment when no one... But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this? Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing. Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take it, or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. Oh, right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is...
Let's dance!
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you...
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, she will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. Either way, we now come to my favorite part, the battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle. When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in crossing blades with...
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that... Fighting talk, I love it! Now let's see you live up. This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with a Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint.
Go, Barbara, go! Ready, steady, go!
Passable effort.
Booba, get them!
Wide open. A clear shot. You made some progress. Guess I should take you more seriously. Haha, good. No wo- wonder Senora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
Let's dance!
Raging Tide! Break!
Booba, get them!
This!
Nice!
You've got some skills. Something else catch your eye? All you do is run.
Let the show begin!
Got you. Eat this! Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now. Huh? I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Dad. But this is going to cost you! Yeah!
Let the show begin!
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you!
We didn't take it!
There can be no excuse for defeat.
Oz, reveal thyself! Booba, get them! By royal decree! La la la! Ha ha ha! By royal decree! Out of the frying pan!
Die here.
Booba, get them!
Verdict
This realm is no home for a princess.
You went.
Look! Child's back to normal!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis. No matter—
That's what we've been trying to tell you!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend. Even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against—
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, I absolutely detest working with. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyan's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the GR Archon in the Archon War. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no— Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, but knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon— Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue.
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising.
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now. And you—
Oh, Paimon gets it. Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a—
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue.
So the Archon War was fought. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is—
What?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong, and as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong ballista with one— For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechan—
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their— We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins. Yep.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in—
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our but I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to the I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks, and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You see, this is what Liyue is like. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Oh.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death, too? Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we... You're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you! You're also...
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of... Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
No, don't let her get to you! You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are...
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit...
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once... You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so...
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That...
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but Why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the...
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky and all of Lyric goes into an uproar!
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over.
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, to get even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself.
Oh, Zhang...
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring...
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even tried to understand the heart of the... And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Child. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain...
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all!
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone...
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me?
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if any. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, "Don't always call it as you see it"?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zappolyarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! always told us a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade.
Realistically speaking, there is no such.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, so Rex Lapis is really... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin... There's only one real
Fatui?
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis...
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and...
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. I mean, it all fits together. Still...
forget it.
Hear ye all! The chief, though a dragon soul, gods and adepti live glorious lives. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was having been thwarted in his trial. Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how there's... Something feels off. What? Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his... Exactly, right? Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens,
3,700 years of contracts burnt and...
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity,
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to...
Huh? Is she...
Traveler.
Yikes! She really...
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. Name your price.
Whoa...
Well, Could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Perhaps.
Roping you.
The cleanup.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotion, and here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should... You're right. I do lack the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, when I was journeying with you...
Oh, no wonder! But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had...
Well, we were only spending Fatui money in the City of Commerce. The Archon Morax could never I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. That is true. I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, but if a person shows true strength, this is what visions are.
That's...
But starting from last year,
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions with it.
They want to seize visions? But what?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes,
Whoa, that's hard.
the Animo Archon is the god of freedom. The fact that even I, the oldest, knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is 7 ideals for 7 gods. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find...